Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, here we are today doing our tile a little bit earlier than scheduled, but it's still getting in that. Just a little bit of an explanation. We're on 365 today. I did say on Tuesday it was tile 363 we did, but it shouldn't have been. It should have been 364. It gets a little bit confusing sometimes, but not to worry, we can sort that out. But here we are with 365. So what do I have with me? I've got a sorbet tile, the yellow or the lemon from that particular set. I've actually got my little tiny board. This is my travel board. This is the one that's actually in the little essentials kit that I did on Sewing Street the other week. So really, yeah, really nice to do. I'm taking it actually with me to the Festival of Quilts, because the whole little set will fit in my bag, so that's good. And of course, I've got a little ruler with that, so I've got some straight edges and things to go with it as well. Regular pen, pencil, tortillon. And of course, today I'm going to use my brush pen, purely because I want to do a little bit of black ink filling in. But I know not everybody likes the brushes, so you can use whatever you like. It's just that you'll need a slightly thicker pen to get going with, okay? So, speaking of pens, we're going to actually start with a pencil to go with, so what I'd like to do is put myself a little bit of a border around the edge of my tile. Not too wide, because we want to sort of focus on what's going on the inside. You'll notice as well I've inked it a little bit, just to give it a little bit of interest, not completely over there. And of course, if you want to use the background stencils to add a bit of detail in, you can do that as well, that's fine. But I just sort of added a little bit of contrast in there. It's the, I can't remember, it's one of the oranges out the Colour Cloud set, but not to worry. Okay, so there's my little border. So next step then, what I want to do is stick it with pencil and my straight edge, or you can do this freehand if you like. I'm going to line it up and I'm going to put a line down one side. And then move it along. And not too narrow, because again, I want to put something in the middle eventually, but there you go. So I've got a stripe there. Let's just do that so you can see it straight. There you go. Okay. So then if I turn it, I'm going to do another one. Now this doesn't really matter where these go. You see that one's going underneath the first. And again, not too thin. There you are. Oh, hi everybody. Thank you for remembering it's 12. It could have been a very quiet session, couldn't it? But I appreciate that. It's just so that Leslie and I are travelling to the NEC today, so we wanted to do it before all the tea time traffic kicks in. So there we go, there's another one. You see each one I'm going underneath the last. So turn it again and let's have a look. Going to do one on this side, and I say they don't have to be exactly the same. I'd rather it wasn't the same, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we've got that going. Okay, let's have a look, see if we're happy with that. Yeah, it looks a little bit square, doesn't it? I think I'm just going to turn it round and do another one. But on this occasion I can come in with the pen, I think, and do it now, because I know where I'm going. So let's line that one up. So that's going to go under that one. And again, let's do another. Okay, into there. And there. Okay, so I've got sort of 3 going one way and 2 going the other. Okay, so let's put these in now in pen. You see, I wanted to be sure that we would have overs and unders. So doing it in pencil's always best first, because then you sort of get the idea. Okay. Oh, Wendy, that's it then. That's exactly why I did it. I have no idea, but that's why I did it. Okay, right, this one's going completely all the way down. Oh, there we go. And down this one. Okay. And then let's do this one here. So, happy with that. All right, let's have a look. Oh no, that does go all the way down. I'd rather check to be sure first. All right. Okay. I had a nice pleasant evening out last night. A student that started in my tutor set way back in 2002. It was my first year of being a newly qualified teacher, and it was his year of being year 7 in high school. So he was in my tutor set for a time, and last night I went to watch him perform his first piano album. It's absolutely fantastic. He's a brilliant pianist. I did share a post on this page just to give you a little bit of a link to it if you want to go and listen to him play. He was very shy, very bright young lad, and he's grown up to be a very nice young man. So it was really nice to see him last night doing what he does best. Absolutely, it was lovely. Okay, so you see I'm not going across all of it, I'm just going across the bits. So where I've drawn these lines, you see they sort of go outwards. So I could use a rubber and remove that. But I've got a sort of an odd shaped grid. Sam, you need to go and have a listen to him. He's on Spotify, his new album, his first album is on there. His name Chris Miguel's. Where I think I shared a link on my post. So, okay. So I'm coming back to my pencil, because what I want to do, not from the middle, I want to start slightly off edge. And I'm going to draw a swirl. But what I'm going to do it lightly, because I'm going to go across everything. I think it just makes life a little bit easier. So you have to draw this in pen, so you can go over it with pencil with all this. You see, if you sketch it round, don't forget you can turn your tile and work it round so it's more comfortable for you. You see the difference there? We're trying to be confusing and awkward with it, but then moving the tile and working my way around. There you go. Oh, thank you, Glennis. It was, quite a listen. And it's actually in an old, where he played, it was an old mine or colliery in Clipston. They've actually set it up. They got a grand piano in the upstairs area by a crane. Very, very expensive piano. But, yeah, I'm glad I wasn't lifting it. Didn't want to have dropped that. Okay, so there we go. Bit of a swirl in there. All right. Okay, so we've gone completely over everything there. The pen we want to keep. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of a swirl in there, and I want to come around to the top there. You see a little bit of a curve? Okay. And then I'm going to come back from here and I'm going to put another one in. You see, slightly over. Slightly over. So each time it's going just ever so slightly over the sort of swirl there. So I'm going to work my way round. Do it lightly, as I say, and I'm completely ignoring that pen line underneath there. Just want to get this shaping correctly. Okay. Right. And along we go. And just keep it going. Just sort of ignoring those pen lines underneath. And working my way around all the way into this swirl shape until I can't do any more. I'm getting to that point. And along we go. You see, just sort of working my way around. I'm not going to do any more because maybe one there, look. And see this one, I think I'm going to sort of extend it out that way because it's a bit narrow. Okay, so we've got this complete shape going all the way around in that swirl there. So working on these little bits here, I'm just going to put a little V in on the top of each one. And again, it's going to be a slightly sort of curved affair. It's following along with the shape that I've created there. Again, do it lightly because you're not going to need all this pencil marks. These are just a guide. So when we come in with our pen, we're going to do certain bits of it. Okay, so you see, just adding those little curves in as we go. So you're going to get a little bit of it seeing in places, so there not so much. And there, oh. So sometimes it's good to do it in pencil first. You really get the hang of it then. I think if you're trying to do it and going behind things, because you're trying to stop and start, you don't always get the curve or the shape that you were expecting to sort of come in there. So that's what we're after. Okay. All right, quick sip of tea. And pick my pen up. And here we go. So the idea now is we're gonna, I didn't do those in there. Started quite tall, didn't I? There you are. Let's put those in. Don't need those. And here I'm going to put 1 and 2. I've got little lines in there. Okay. So if I start here at the bottom, I'm going to draw in that first curl there. Okay. And then along here. Now I'm going to come in and draw all of these shapes, but I'm not going to go over those pen lines. So if you want to, you can come in with a rubber and you could rub those sections out if you want to. It's always a handy thing to do if you think you might draw over them, because you do need to focus and just draw in those little bits. I just go and fetch my little rubber and I can show you what I mean. Do you know, I've still not tried my electric rubber yet. Maybe this would have been the ideal, but it's upstairs and I'm downstairs. You see? So let's get rid of those bits we don't need inside those lines that we drew. Okay. So if you're not sure, you know, you can pause this and have a look at it and see the bits I'm rubbing out. So it's all those little sections along those lines and around the outside. We don't need them either. You see, that helps. I know, Sue. It's my trusted eraser. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, see, now I can see I just need that little bit there. Into that one. So you can see I can actually put in sort of more accurate lines because I know where they were going, because they've gone over everything. Whereas if you're trying to do this and go underneath things, it could sometimes be a little bit tricky. Okay, so Lynn, I have, it's upstairs in my bag. I've not even tried it yet. I've got the battery in and everything. I've just been a bit busy. I need to try it. And I did say I would, and I'd let you know. See there, I'm going to see a little bit of that there because it's the top end. And there. So whether you want to put all the curves in first and then come back and do these little shapes, up to you. Whatever works. But you see, it's almost like we're caging this unruly design or shape with these little tiger stripes on it. It's amazing how that starts to look. Yes. Oh, Maureen, I know, thrifty, eh? We've got to make the most out of our tools and equipment. To be honest, I did cut that off a perfectly good sized rubber, because I tend to do that. If you want to get into certain areas, you want a little bit of rubber. So I do cut mine up. bits. See little tiny ones there. And then to this one. I'm going to get a line there. So now it's all about sort of searching for the lines that are left. There's not many. And you might want to just sort of, even if you go over it with a pencil a little bit heavier, if you want to, just to be more confident as to where everything's going. You can see there where we're getting these little bits sort of cropping up in places. And so just sort of putting those top edges in there, almost done. So if you fancy a challenge this weekend, then by all means you could actually draw this directly and straight with pen. And see how that goes. So I'm going to come in with my thicker one. I'm going to use maybe my brush. Let's get rid of these pencil lines now completely. We don't need them. Nobody needs to know they were there. Okay. Just see, it still works. It might be tatty and unruly, but it still works. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring my brush in. Really want to bring a thicker pen in. And I'm going to fill in those tiger stripes and that little loop in the middle there. So whatever you're comfortable with. I mean, even if you want to go in with a different colour, you could do that. And mix and match. I noticed actually from the last tile there's a few different colours coming in, and that's really nice to see. And of course the use of colour on your tile swaps. I can't believe actually the improvements. You know, you see tiles from the very first one. Go back to that first one we ever did. Excuse me. And the amazing, the change in them. And how they've improved over time. So looking forward to the next one. I really am. It's going to be great. So see, I'm just taking my time with that. See, oh, I've missed one there. Look, let's put one in. There you are. And write that in. Of course, remember with a brush, if you think not so sure, you practice somewhere first. And if you find that your lines are not very, not as neat as you would like, then come in with a fine liner around it. Use an O2 or something and put that in around it. See, I might come back and do that with mine when I bring my other pen back in. There we go. Along we go. See, just something about adding a little bit of black, isn't there, to a tile? Just gives it that sense of drama. That's what we're after. Just be aware, make sure that you're not colouring in anything that you don't need to. Really look at your tile and the shapes and sort of see where it's going. And even if sometimes, if I'm not sure, I'll actually put a little cross in the bits I need to colour in, and that really helps. So then you might just see a little bit because then you can sort of not worry so much about where you're putting your ink because you've already worked that out. There you go. So let's bring that O2 in. So just where I'd got a little bit of a mess, not a mess, but an untidy edge that didn't join. You can come in, look, and you can just neaten up those sides if you need to. See, that one's a bit bent, straighten up. Okay. Who says they had to be a certain size anyway? You can do what you like with them. Okay, so there we are so far. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm gonna come in with my 3 again and my straight edge. Let's just enlarge it a little bit. And what I want to do is I'm going to focus, let's find that first one, this line here. You see this one? And let's go out a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to do an aura inside. There. So let's line that up and move it in a bit. and then this one, this one, you see? So if I bring my brush back in, and there we go. Oh, Joe, that's not good. Is there someone that could take it for you? Could you ask the post who delivers yours if they would just drop it in for you, maybe? That's not good, is it? I think our post person got shouted at yesterday because they parked opposite somebody's drive, and they leave their car all day because the sorting office there's a little one at the back of the post office, and they upset a few of the neighbours, so there was a bit of a confrontation yesterday outside. There you go. So there's the first one. Okay, let's have a look now. I'm gonna do one the other side just to give that chance to sort of dry. And now I've got one here. You see, it's got this line in between. So if I come on in, and I'm gonna draw in an aura in that one and an aura in that one. So you see, I've left a gap, and into that one, and that one, and then fill that in and that in. You see how that works? So I'm going to do all of my little auras now on each one first, and then I'm going to come in and fill it in, just so you got the idea of where we were going. Okay. And you notice that I am actually drawing in the 03 pen where I've got my lines. You think, well, you're going to fill it in anyway, what does it matter? It just feels better for me. I know exactly the thickness of it, and I'd rather put these in first, and then I'll come in and fill them. I mean, you could actually add another tangle in if you want to. There we are. So again, just leave a little gap, because we want to add that extra line in. See one there, look, one there. That one. And then this last one here. Let's put that one in. And that one. And this one. And then this one. So we've got these little blocks now all over the place. So we're going to fill those in with some ink. And this is where the brush comes in on its own. But if not, use a thicker pen for sure. You certainly don't want to be using your 03 for this, because not only will it take you forever, it could actually ruin your nib doing a lot of inking like this. You know, if all else fails, you can always use an alcohol marker or something. Even the brush pens, you could do that, but just be aware that they are water-based if you're going to ink over it or anything. There you go. Okay. There you are. And same with this one. Oh. You see if that one's gone off a little bit? I can come back in and I can straighten it up with my little 03 afterwards. Just want to get the bulk in. You see? Oh, Sue, I know brushes are new, but yeah, your 08's fine for this. Oh, it's just about getting some thickness on there, isn't it? You want some bulk. So there. And notice as well, look, I'm turning it round and then filling the other side in. So I've always got the edge is where my pen is. So if I do it this way, sometimes you don't always see that back edge, but whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, and that one. I'm turning it around, see? And along this this one. Okay, let's have a look at that. There we are. You see your lines a bit better now. So if I come back in with my 3, now I did say I'd got one got a bit of a wonky edge. Here we go. See, I can come back in and straighten it up with that thinner pen there. Over the edge of it, doesn't matter. Neaten them up. There you go. Okay. See there, a little bit of a one. But I'm good with that. Okay. So here we go into the same pen, and what I want to do now is focus on this shape on the underneath, and I'm going to come on with, let's have a look, this side here. You can use any. And I'm going to put some little faux stitches in there, like that. Okay, let's go a bit bigger. All right, and then the next one. So I've gone on that side, so I'm going to continue on that side. Now, if you want to go on the other, you can do that. If you want to do both, you can do that as well. But I'm going to stick with one. And work my way around. So we go. See how it just sort of wanders around. And again, I'm going to turn the tile. Let's do that there. Because it's just more comfortable for me in my hand. I can leave that mostly where it is and turn it round so it comes to me. So it's out the sorbet tiles. I've added a little bit of orange ink on one side of it, just to give it a little bit of a shade difference. All right. Now if you want to, because I know now I'm working on the right hand side, I can do all of them in each box and then move on to the next, but whatever you're comfortable with. If you're not sure. Oh, Maureen, you could. It's quite a nice one, this, isn't it? For little adventures and things that go round. But I think the whole point is actually drawing that first bit in with pen and then taking the design all over the piece so you get a good flow. So when you look behind it, everything is where it's supposed to be, if you know what I mean. It just makes life a little bit easier. Put a line there, look. Okay, so I don't see much there. So let's work on this next one. And adding these little lines into this one. Just put a little, you know, just sometimes you might think, oh, it needs just a little bit of something just to look finished. Okay, so I've got all those done. Those, it's these bits around here, look, so, you know, just have a sort of a search around your tile. I always miss something and have to go back and put something in. Imagine that's sort of there, look, a bit there. See how that just changes it, and of course because we're using those curves, let's have a look at that. There it is. Okay, so what do we need now? I'm going to come in with my pencil and I'm going to start in the middle, and wherever I've got these lines in particular I'm going to go opposite. So when I say opposite, you see where I've got the stitch line, I'm going to go to the other side. Okay, the other side. And again, if you've got stitches on both sides, then pick one. It's absolutely fine and stick to it. And if your stitches are on the left, then put your pencil shading on the right. It's absolutely fine. Okay, that's the first bit. So, again, oh, I've done it on the wrong one now, look. Oh, that's why I've got my little rubber, look. See? Get rid of it. And add in those little bits of shadow. See there, I'm going to imagine it was there. Okay. See, just sort of putting that pencil in each one. Let's do this top edge. See that's got the sort of stitching on, so I'm going to do a bit on that side, just so it looks like it's continuing around. Same there, look. Just to keep that theme going. And see, again, I'm going to put some in there, because we don't want to sort of leave that bit out. Bit there, look. Okay, I think we've done most of what I want to do now. This centerpiece, I'm going to come around and I'm going to do that in a minute. I want to get these little bits in first. So I want to do this and soften it round just a little bit, so it's not covering the whole thing, it's just covering part of it. Okay, just in those little bits. Okay, I am going to come back and do that in a minute. So let's do this bit first. So again, each one of these, and you know, if you don't want to go around the whole thing as a swirl, you can come around and do each little bit as you work, just to make life a bit easier. Again, not going all the way across, just part way. You see? Soften it up a little bit. Bit there. Okay. All right. And around we go. Just keep it going. See, I'm just going to put little bits in places, you know, where they go underneath. Oh, where have I got my stitch line missing? Cross line on my top stitch. Got one there. Got one there. Oh, I'll find it. I told you I always miss something. It's just to make sure you're all watching. Okay. Okay. Let's put this in while I'm doing it. That one there. There you are. Hopefully that's the one, and I've not missed any more. Just makes a huge difference, doesn't it, adding this little bit of shading as we go round. Just a little bit in there. Let's have a little look at that then. Let's go out a bit. Oh. Okay, so that's sort of our shading going that way. So I want to pick my pencil up again. And let's go in a little bit more. Okay, this time I'm going to come around this bit here, see that curve, and then I'm going to follow that curve and that shape. Okay, so on the top of all of these we're going to add some pencil. Okay, I've missed a little bit of shading there. I'll come back and do that. You see, on the top of each one. And sort of follow it round again. I'm not going to get any on that bit, but I am in this bit. And then definitely that one there. Okay, so the tops of all of them. So tortillon again. I'm going to soften this bit up in the middle there. Don't want to completely cover the whole thing. You see, soften it up. Oh, I hope so, Sue. I hope so. Might have to, even if I have to bring a bit of pen in or some pencil. I'm coming round in swirls. Okay. So I'm not going to try and blend it completely. I want it to have a shadow, so it's going to go swirls. There you go. See the different way of using these tortillons. Sometimes straight lines, sometimes swirls. And as tempting as it is, even if it's a little bit, follow it through because you're going to get a similar effect all the way around then. See? Of course, if you need to, if you go over these lines, you've always got a rubber that you can remove it, because we don't want any pencil in those areas. We just want it behind here. And along this one. Okay, so there's quite a lot of graphite on there, so I have applied a little bit more pressure with my tortillon than I normally might. But that's what we're sort of looking for. So, okay. Let's bring my regular pen back in. Again, you can bring a 5 in if you like. And I'm going to come around my swirl. Okay, and then when I get to this bit here, around that top, you see I'm coming in a little bit and around, but not completely. In a little bit. So I can't do much more on those there. So let's have a look at these. I can actually here, look. See, just a little, oh sorry. See, I've come in just a little bit. So around there and in a little bit. So anywhere you can see a top section, as long as you've shaded it, you can do that little bit there. So around there, in a little bit, and around. I've done that one. There you are, and then into there. So I think that's mostly all of them done. Let's just do that one. So I've only done the ones I can really see. In the centre, over the curves, but not that top end there. Oh yeah. Good job you're watching what I'm doing. I have no idea. No idea. Okay. So then let's go back over that with my pen. Okay, let's have a little look at that. All right, I think still needs a little bit more. I'm just going to bring my white chalk pencil in. I'm just going to nip and fetch that. No doubt, I suppose, if my pencil case was actually with me. Okay, so let's put some white in at this bottom edge here. Okay, so I'm going to come in a little bit. There you go. See, bottom edge there. And then just at that bottom edge where, you know, sort of by your little stitches where you've not really got any pencil shading, if you can, just a gesture. Oh, see, just a gesture. Keep my way around that. I'm not intending on blending this, but we'll have a look at it. Sue, I know, you're so used to me by now. You just add it in, you just do your thing. You're like, yeah, she's doing it again. She's missed it, she'll come back to it. You see how I'm adding that little bit of pencil in there. Not everything needs to be blended. It's nice to have that bit of texture. Having said that, if you put quite a bit on, see like that? So I've got a clean one. You could always come in like and very gently soften it off a little bit. So don't feel that you can't. There's no rules. If you feel it needs a bit of shading, go ahead and do it. Okay. There we are. All right, let's have a little look at that. There we go. There we go. It's looking a bit different, isn't it? So, working in these sort of lines now, I'm going to choose one side. I'm going to go on the right. I'm going to add a little bit of white pencil. You could come in and use a pen if you wanted to for this. But I'm going to stick with the pencil. And then same on this. So again, I've just chosen one side. I come back and rub that bit out if it's gone over my black. This is why I wanted to leave a little bit of a gap. If you haven't, don't worry, it's not a problem. Let's just get rid of it over the black there. I suppose electric rubber would be good there, wouldn't it? Okay. Last thing, backing with pencil. Because I've gone on that side there, I'm going to come on the opposite side now and put some pencil all the way over that line. And then I'm going to do this on this side. So I might as well put some in there. And this side. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it round. And again, I'm going to start with that one. See, I've not gone over the top there because I've got that gap between. So I've kept it within there. Way up there. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. And this one. And there. And this one. Now I know this is a little bit scary at times because we've done all that work underneath, but honestly it'll be worth it. So now I'm going to come back and forth, so I'm not trying to move it at all. I'm just sort of almost consolidating it, see, back and forth. Okay. And again, I am applying a bit of pressure there because it's a lot of graphite. I don't want it on that side though, see? And then again, let's go in a little bit so you can see. Okay, back and forth, you see? Back and forth. You see it sort of stays in one place mostly. It does move out a little bit. But we're not trying to sort of blend it completely to nothing. We're just giving that line there a little bit of shadow. Okay, same this one. Alright, we just want this to really look as though it's in the front of the piece that's obviously behind it, you see? So, this bit here as well. Give that a little bit of, see, movement there. And there. Alright, let's have a little look. Yeah, I like that. So I just want to bring out a little bit more white in this bottom middle section here. I'm just going to go back over and just make sure that each one of them has got that little bit going on. You see? Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to do a little bit more in those two. Let's just strengthen that white a little bit. Amazing how much difference that makes. We want that little highlight in there. It's almost like it is wanting to have, it's looking through those bars, wanting to break out and completely engulf the whole space that it can. Okay, yeah, much happy with that. There we go. So there's our tile, and just to sort of remember, it's 365, not 364. So I think so, yeah, there's so much graphite on this. If you want to fix it, certainly a little bit of hairspray will do the job, or a bit of spray and shine, give it a bit of shine as well. Do you know what, actually, if you use the spray and shine, what happens is you find that the white will fade. So let the spray and shine dry off and then come back in and add your white pencil in again. But what you'll find is you could then ink over the top of it again, and it's not going to affect any of those marks or any of those lines that, excuse me, that you've made inside there. So have a bit of fun with this one. I better go and unlock a door and let Leslie in because she's waiting outside. So have a lovely weekend, everybody. And if you are at the Festival of Quilts, come and say hi if you see us. Leslie and I will be there tomorrow all day. So absolutely, wear your badges and have a good one anyway. Okay, see you soon then. Bye.